Hey guys, welcome back again. It's been a very long time, I know. Turns out this thing's not as easy as it is, and I've been so busy. But just a few things. First of all, I just want to say thank you to all those who have actually subscribed and been patient for the next video. I know I said I will upload regularly, but yeah, it's not as easy as it seems. But however, I will try my best to at least, produce weekly content. But what I would do is, to make things easier, I will post more on Instagram because it's just easier to just get a phone, do a selfie, post. So I will do that. So I will be creating an Instagram page, and it would be in the comment section or somewhere, maybe here or there. So feel free to check it out and follow. I will put a link at the end of the video actually for the Instagram, so that will be easier for you to just click and follow. Right, there's a lot to talk about, but where do I start? Just looking at my notes. So first thing I would say is, I know this is too late now, but we are definitely not ready for the title. We are not ready at all. I had a feeling we weren't, but I had this, slight hope that we just might. But yes, we're not ready. And playing against Man City just showed that. And I think one thing that is really frustrating, I think, is the teams we are supposed to beat, we never beat them. I remember when we played Manchester, or not just when, but a few times in the past when we have played Manchester United and we expected to beat them because they're not doing well, we end up losing. And, classic example is Man City. So I think there's hope. One thing I will touch on is Maresca's tactics. It's easy to question a manager when things are not going well. I will put my hands up and say that. But sometimes I do question his rigidness in just, refusing to change. However, I do know that great managers have a way of playing and they stick to it. And sometimes you have to believe in, you have to believe in yourself. If that means your system, your tactics, even when it's not working. So I say, patient with him, give him time, and we'll see how it goes. It's hot in here, by the way. I shouldn't have worn this jumper. Anyway, so I just want to touch on Mathys Tel. The transfer rumors about him coming to Chelsea. Seems like a good player. Personally, the only thing I've noticed is he seems to play more on the wing than an out-and-out striker. And I feel like we need an out-and-out striker. So I'm not sure why we're chasing him. I know we've got Modric, who's been banned onto further notice, which doesn't help. But I think we have enough wingers, and personally, I don't know why, and correct me if I'm wrong, why Maresca still puts faith in Modric. Yes, he scored, but I feel like there's more he could do. Who knows, correct me if I'm wrong. I'd rather Pedro on that side. But at the same time, I have noticed the way Maresca plays, he's not the typical tactics of wingers storming down the wing. They need to be a bit more versatile and going out wide and cutting in, which I guess suits Modric more than Neto on the right. But I'd rather Neto on the right side, Sancho on the left, and sometimes I actually think Jackson would do okay on the left personally. But I think with Maresca's tactic, it doesn't seem like that would work. I'd like to give Nkunku a chance playing forward more. Again, Nkunku is not the pressing type against defenders constantly, but I think he's got the instinct for goal, so why not give him a chance? But we have to respect his tactics and give him time. Every manager has a way of playing, and sometimes they need time and have the players they want. I would say if we did sell Nkunku, I would be gutted personally. I know some people are happy for him to go. I think he can still offer a lot for us, and especially for 60 mil. We bought him for 57 million pounds. Why would we sell him for 60 million pounds? That's 2 years on. Yes, I know. If we're going to sell him for that, I think there need to be some incentives, or I don't know, buyback. Because if he goes to Bayern, I reckon in 2 years' time he might go to Saudi and for even more money if he does well. So why not put a buyback clause there? But I'm personally a big fan of him. I know he's not really been playing well regularly when he's come on. But when you keep coming on, it doesn't give you that momentum as starting. The same way Jackson has started the last, I don't know, in 10 games, he started at least 8 10 Premier League games, started at least 8 of them. Why not give Nkunku a chance to start 3-4 Premier League games in a row? And if he doesn't deliver, then I'll say, yep, that's it. We'll see. Next topic I will talk about is Sanchez. I know a lot of people are saying get rid of him, and before the Manchester City game, I thought, no, give him a chance. He does save more. But after that game, I thought, oh gosh, yeah, I don't know. I think I wouldn't say he needs to go, but I do believe in giving people a long chance, especially while we are still in the transition. So as much as it's painful that we've dropped out of the top 4, when we started the season, just being in the top 6, we would be happy. So I think this is still the time to experiment. I think we've got enough goalkeepers in depth for next season. If we need to drop him, maybe after 2 or 3 more games, I think there's enough time. He does save us a few times, but yeah, he's also messed up a few times. And I think as a goalkeeper, your errors are more obvious than if you're a striker or a midfielder, and even a defender, So I say give him more chance, 2-3 more games. If he keeps messing up, then I think he needs to stay on the bench for a while. Just take a breather, take the limelight off him, or whatever the word is. Next thing I want to talk about is Joa Felix. Obviously, there's rumours of him moving on, possibly permanent or loan to Aston Villa. I mean, again, it goes back to Maresca's tactics. He has a way of playing, and Nkunku, Joa Felix play in the same position as Palmer. But I think they can all play together. Personally, I personally think they can play together. Yes, he has mentioned it does make it harder to defend. I think sometimes as managers you need to be flexible. You need to have a way of flexibility, and if that means, and people are not going to like me for they're saying this, but even if that means sometimes sacrificing Enzo to stay back more, or actually we don't really have another defensive midfielder right now because Latvia is always injured, he's always injured, unfortunately. But I would actually try and put either Gusto there or James holding with Caicedo. So that gives us that solid defence at the back. And then we can possibly try Palma and Joa Felix up front. Not up front, but attacking mid together. And possibly Nkunku. I think those two with the movement, personally, I think they'll be unbelievable once they get used to each other with just that movement. But again, I guess that means changing the way he wants to play, and not every manager, like I said, sometimes great managers, they have their way of playing and it works. Pep Guardiola, but also over time, he had to evolve, he had to change things. Mourinho is another example. Yes, he's outdated, and some would say he's outdated, but it worked for him for years. So I know managers have a certain way of playing. Carlo Ancelotti has always played the same way for decades now, or in most cases, obviously minor tweaks there and there. So I know managers have a way of playing and they like to stick to that. So I think based on that, we're giving the benefit of the doubt and trusting him, because he's not been here long. It's not been a year left, but I think that good run we had sort of raised expectations for a lot of Chelsea fans, including myself. And when you compare ourselves to Arsenal, let's be honest, we're not doing pretty bad. Arsenal had the same manager for 5 years or more than 5 years. So we can't compare ourselves to this. We can't compare ourselves to Arsenal, to Man City, even to Aston Villa. Okay, Forest, one could argue. But again, Chelsea are a team who are building for the next 5 to 10 years of consistency, not just, and I'm not saying Forest are one-off season, only time will tell, but we've been a team where we're going to challenge year in, year out. So that means let's see in the next 2-3 years, let's see where we are. As long as we're still competing, and I personally believe if we keep the consistency, we could get and win the Premier League in the next, I want to say 2 years, but if not 2 years, in 3 years' time, I think definitely within 5 years max, we would have at least 1 or 2 Premier Leagues. I think, as long as things stay the same. But you never know in football. Things change. The manager could get sacked. Who knows? But I think we definitely need to have the same consistency, so the players know what they expect, or what they need to do and they know the manager know what's expected of him rather, from the players. And I think we need to give him, not that he's under pressure now anyway, but we need to give him 2 or 3 more years. Yeah, I think that's it. I will just touch on one more thing though. Chalobah, I am glad he's back. And you can see in his first game back that, did really well. Even against Man City, I think he did well. I think, once in a while that happened, with Haaland. But I think he did well. I think he should stay. I personally would keep him, not even sell him in the summer. But I know for profit and all that stuff. But what's the point of selling him? Yes, profits, but if you're going to sell him and then spend more on getting another defender who then needs time to adjust, and I'd rather keep him. I'd rather we keep him, sell Disasi. I know he's on loan or going on loan at the moment, but I'd rather we sell him. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I think that's it. We need a new midfielder. I think we could do with another midfielder. But who would you think? Who would you suggest? Or what midfielder would you suggest Chelsea buy? Either in this transfer window, even though we've only got a few days left, or even in the summer, because Latvia is great or really good, but we can't rely on him. And I think we need another defensive midfielder. Another defensive midfielder. Because Caicedo can't play every game, and Latvia, gets injured once in a while. And I think sometimes it's good to have 2 defensive midfielders rather than have Enzo, even though he's been good for us, don't get me wrong. But sometimes when we need a change, we haven't got any. Caicedo and Latvia out, and we're screwed. I mean, yes, we could try Reece James in Augusto, possibly, but they need to get used to playing there first. So I think we need definitely another defensive midfielder or an all-around midfielder. But let me know in your comments section who you would think would suit Chelsea. And yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate this. Hopefully there'll be more weekly content. Yeah, just like and subscribe below. And hopefully I won't disappoint you this time and take 2-3 months. And Happy New Year as well, by the way. I think the last post was last year. So thank you again, once again, guys. Those who subscribed and who commented, I didn't respond to it. Apologies, but I did see them and I appreciate your support. So yeah, please keep supporting, like, subscribe and share. Thank you, guys.